My name is Gary Lewis, and I'm from the Lower Hudson Valley of New York, Port Jervis, New York.
How did you get involved with NDF?
Strictly through Kevin. Kevin and I met at a mutual gathering, and I didn't know him at all until then, and we spoke, and I got to learn more about him and what he was going through. And I'm a human resource professional. My college degree is in human resources, and I left my human resources job and got certified as a CNA, HHA, and PCA, just so I could help Kevin out more and be there for him. He went through a period of time where his caregivers really didn't care about him and left him, high and dry, and Kevin to defend for himself. And I wanted to be able to make sure that I could be there long term for him, so he didn't have that situation. So, and that's why I'm here today.
All the stories we've heard today from both patients and caregivers, there are a lot of stories like that. Do you find, what do you get out of these sorts of gatherings and these sorts of meetings?
Well, I got to learn a lot about neuromuscular dystrophy today. I got in myopathy. I didn't know anything about Kevin's disability at all prior to even taking care of him. And what I did was I studied up on it myself. I asked him what kind of muscular dystrophy he had. He told me, and I went on Google and looked things up and educated myself a little bit on his disability and how to better take care of him as a caregiver, because I had no formal training to do that, So this was a very learning experience for me, and for me to be able to find out, exactly what he's going through, what kind of, what they're doing in the works to help him, have his disability slow down, and things like that. And, I asked him questions today, and every day, not every day, maybe weekly, I'm thinking of new questions to ask him, right? And I ask him, well, I said, well, what happens when this, Kevin? Or what happens when that? And we talk about that. So, and the worst part about it is when I first started with him, he had a lot more mobility than he has now, So unfortunately, I've seen him decline. But that's the good thing about it too, because my job is never boring. I have something new to look forward to every day with Kevin.
And there are only so many jobs that can say that you're really doing something new every day.
Right.
And how did you experience today? How was today for you?
Today was very informative, very, I got to meet a lot of individuals who really genuinely care about people. I felt like this group is not just regular off-the-cuff individuals. They are a family of people who want to help other people become better people. If you get what I'm saying,
Yeah.
And that's what I got out of it. And I thought this was great. And I'll be totally honest with you. Just a day or two ago, before Kevin and I came, we had a small disagreement, and I wasn't going to come because I was pretty upset with Kevin, and he was pretty upset with me. So I wasn't going to come, and we finally worked out our differences, and I decided to come, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad we worked it out. I'm glad that we did come here today, and I got to see this because I learned a lot today, and I think this was good bonding time that Kevin and I needed as well. So, one of my most useful things was the session I just got out of, with the psychologist, and what a great woman, and she talked about a number of things, and I got to meet some great caregivers and great parents in there who are going through this. And one of the things I learned the most was, especially from the parents, is they blame themselves for this. And they have a lot of anger at themselves because of what their children are going through. And it was a very sad yet inspirational gathering, and I learned that the new meaning for the word hope. And it means that help offers perfect effectiveness, you know, and when you say that to yourself always, you know, then it gives you as a caregiver a new perspective about how effectively you are for your patient that you're helping. So it was great.
There. And do you think, I know that you were saying that you found today useful as a caregiver. Is there anything that, any, I don't know, words of wisdom or anything like that that you have for other caregivers?
Yeah, just one of the main things I learned today that I'll take back with me is that patience comes a long way, you know, and understanding your patient and understanding what they're going through, how and why, and the education that they offer here goes a long way when you're caring for your patient. You know, 3 things that I know for sure that I'm going to have to change going forward, starting right now, is my patience level, my ability to understand Kevin in a better form, right? And third, and most importantly, a new direction on how on how his disease or disability, you could say, has hope for it at the end of the tunnel. You know, because although if a cure was to happen, you know, Kevin may or may not benefit from that, or if a progression, you know, a slowdown of the disease happens, Kevin may or may not benefit from that. But other people can and will, you know, and if Kevin or I sitting here today can save somebody else's life, then we did our job today, you know, and then we'll have something to take to our grave at the end of the time too, you know. So all I can say as a caregiver, I have a new perspective on how to do things from this point forward, and you know, take it that way. So
That's so wonderful. Thank you guys
Yeah,
so much
you
for
bet.
your time. We really appreciate
Oh,
it.
thanks.